business owners, from restaurants to beauty to financial side. We are looking for it all.
Hello, we are back for another great show of Tears to Purpose Real Talk. I am one of your hosts, Elder Lakia Barnett, and we got Miss Hubbard. Miss Hubbard, go ahead and introduce yourself.
Hey everyone. As always, thank you for coming back. We appreciate you all so much. Thank you.
Yes, we do. So we are so glad to be back in this virtual room. And I'm so excited, you guys, about our very special guest, Mr. Mike Fox. But wait, before we do any of that and get all in his tea and find out all about his little schemes and tactics of how he's this great voiceover actor and film producer, like he is super dope, y'all. And I'm like so geeked up like a kid in a candy store. Y'all hear what I'm saying? So this is what I'm saying. Y'all need to share all down your timeline. I'm talking about to your enemies, you know, your close friends, people you don't know. I don't even know. And I need you to go grab like your little water, your little soda, and your little pillow, and I'm gonna need you to pop it up because we're about to get into his business, okay? So we are excited about this, but before we get to him, listen, few announcements. September the 18th, Tears to Purpose is hosting a meet and greet. And if you are a woman that is looking for a ministry to be able to come forth and tell your story, be healed, set free, and delivered, amen, and doing some beautiful things around the world, you need to come get it. Okay, so how you do that, Elder? Well, this is how you do it. I need you to inbox me, or you can RSVP your name to barnettlakia@gmail.com, and we will send you all the information once we get a good old head count on how many people about to be in that Zoom room. You don't want to miss it, right? You get to know all about your purpose and all of that. So I do want to shed some light, you guys, on a disease that is very breathtaking to me, and that is the childhood cancer. So this is something that is a cause that happens in September, and I just wanted to highlight it a little bit because I think it's very important that we talk about this stuff. We all have children, grandchildren, nieces, nephews, and I think it's important to know about this, and also to go and find out about what is happening in your family line so you can know, you know, hey, I believe in coming up against the stuff like that. We go into prayer. Amen. That's what we do. But just so you guys a little back history, it is one of the leading causes of children that are under 21 that are diagnosed with this childhood cancer. Unfortunately, it usually takes out 1/4 of these, you know, these cancer patients. They usually don't survive it, you know, so it is very a very difficult disease, very aggressive. That's a good word. Aggressive disease that literally has families being turned upside down because of it, and some of the trauma that these parents and the children end up going through. So if you want to read more about it, just go on over to the American Hood Foundation and read more about this disease and educate yourself. And once again, get checked up, get your kids checked up. Don't be missing no appointments, y'all. Stay on top of this stuff when it comes to children. Amen. And we just pray a hedge of protection over all the babies, that God will keep them covered in their bodies, and they'll grow up to be nice and strong and go on and do what the Lord has called them to do. Amen. So I just want to do birthday shout outs. So if you guys have birthdays in the month of September, do not be sitting around and don't say nothing, because we celebrate life around here. Okay. So what you need to do is inbox us and say, hey, I want to do give me your birthday so we can shout them out on the air. Okay. So the first birthday I am shouting out today is my auntie. Y'all, my auntie, one of my aunties. Happy birthday, Auntie.
Happy birthday.
Thompson. I said Thomas. Lord, I gave her a new last name. Would you about to get married? Okay. I love it. So yes, her birthday is today. So shout out to her. So if anybody is watching this, please tag my auntie and tell her I was thinking about her. Okay. So we wanted to shout her out today. So if you have birthdays that are coming up, please inbox us, please, before next Wednesday so we can do our shout outs on the show. All righty.
Yeah.
How you feeling today, Miss Hubbard?
I'm excellent. I'm feeling good. It was a
I feel
timely
like
day. I'm still feeling good.
yes, that's so good. I'm so happy. So you guys just keep sharing. Sharing is caring. Okay. So let's jump into some trailers real quick. Okay. Before we bring this good old man on here that is doing tremendous work in his community, setting trends like no other. I'm just like a kid in a candy store right now because this is exciting. So let's see what he's been up to. So roll the first clip. Do y'all see? Choose wisely. Wait a minute, baby. Don't choose wrong. This is what I'm saying over here.
Okay,
choose the right oh, that is so like, wait a minute. Like, choose what box? What box we about to choose? You better make sure you choose right because it might alter something.
That's right.
Yes, indeed. It looks so intense, right?
Yes, it does.
So that was a preview to the box. I can't wait to see this thing. I'm just like tripping over here. So listen, we're gonna keep this thing moving so we can get him on here. You guys keep sharing and tagging all your friends, loved ones, everyone. Just keep on tagging. And let's jump into this next clip.
What happens when faith meets fun?
I know what you guys are thinking.
Coming soon, a faith-based comedy sitcom, Wanna Be a Star.
Just brings shivers down my spine.
Join Lardell's Aim for the Skies acting school. Your favorite acting teacher, Dr. Cool,
I'm as cool as my name.
who doesn't know how to act.
I'm surprised he left out Pride Rock.
Don't be late for class and miss the fun,
Great.
because it ain't cool unless it's Dr. Cool.
Class is in session.
Comedy. I think I like that better.
Yes. I'm always into a little bit of comedy, and that looks hilarious. Okay.
Yes.
So yes, you guys, without further ado, let's just go on and bring this great man on, Mike Fox. He does voiceovers. He's an actor, filmmaker, like the list goes on and on. Welcome to the show, Mike.
Thank you. It is good to be on. I'm tired just thinking about all that stuff.
Yes.
But it is a passion, so it is exciting. So yes.
Well, it's exciting to me to watch this. This is really inspiring me, like tremendously. Like it really is. And I know that it's not easy doing anything like this. I know whoever's watching this probably like, oh, well, how does he have the strength to do that? I want to know too, because that's a lot of work.
It's a lot of work. Yeah. A lot of people don't realize that a lot of this stuff happens after the filming and post-production. So, when people, especially even like on big films, when they go and they do all the filming, that can take maybe a matter of months to do filming and the actors. What takes a long time is the post-production, the afterwards, putting everything together, or the special effects and things like that. That's what can take like a long time, especially when you're dealing with big things like Avatar and things like that. So, it's a lot of hard work, but I can't tell you how fun and exciting and passionate, I am about it. It's just, it's cool. It's awesome.
Yes. So let's get this interview rolling. We want to know all about how you got started and all of that great stuff. So I'm going to turn you over to Miss Hubbard.
Hello.
All right, Mike. How you doing?
I am doing good. Thank you. Thank you for having me on. This is exciting.
Yeah, this is very exciting. So we're going to get right to it. So tell us a little bit about your story.
I have many different facets to the story, but I've been in creative for like 25 years. So I've been designing and doing creative stuff since I was a kid. Just that's my artistic flair, I guess you say,
Mm-hmm.
is that my creative brain. And I've been into music and drawing and designing since I was a little kid. And so, about 25 years ago, I started to do the creative side on the computer. So for, like 25 plus years, I've actually been designing and doing all kinds of marketing and things like that. Me, my wife and daughter, we own a creative design family business called Splash Design Works. So we do everything from logos, websites, video production, and brochures and event, stuff. So we do that as a creative business. But I've always been into music, and I've always been into movies and how to do it, how to produce it. I actually do EDM music production as well. And so I would say about COVID time, which is kind of like the story of a lot of people, to be honest with you. But
Yeah.
about COVID time, our daughter is an actress and a voiceover professional. And I mean, she's a three-time published author, Amazon bestseller, and she's 14 years old. She's a keynote speaker.
Wow.
I mean, like when I grow up, I want to be like her, kind of thing. So but she's been doing a lot of acting and stuff. And so one of my things was to put together some more show reel content for her. And so she's a natural like comedian. And so I started to think about, I got to put some serious stuff together. And so I put together some film shorts that ended up to be longer than shorts, to be just regular shorts. And I submitted to some film festivals, and they started winning awards at film festivals. And I'm like,
Okay.
okay. My creative juices started kicking in like full gear. And so I started doing more shorts and stuff. And then I met a really great guy named Marquise, just hilarious and extremely creative. And we put together ideas on how to bring the Wanna Be a Star faith-based comedy sitcom to life. Right now it's on hold, but that was something that pretty much he had an idea and we collaborated, and I jumped on board originally as an actor. If you saw that cowboy in there saying yeehaw, okay, well, that was me. So I ended up being from an actor to having my wife and daughter on board. And if you saw in that trailer, the person going like that, that was my wife. And then the daughter, our daughter is like, I can't believe you let that pride rock. That's our daughter. So on top of that, I actually became director, producer, executive producer, and post-production supervisor, manager, pretty much the whole gamut of bringing that to life. So the acting, the directing, I was a director, bringing on board the crew, the whole 9 yards, And that was a big production. That was a lot of work, but it's something that was needed in the Christian community as far as quality humor. There's a lot of there's a lot of sitcoms out there, but there's not a lot of sitcoms for faith-based audience. And so I wanted to make sure that I created a quality type of situation. And even with that, and the episode pilot, we had very little to work with as far as equipment. So while that was going on and I was in post-production, again, I still needed some show reel to add to our daughter's repertoire so that she can give it to casting agents and stuff like that, because you got to get a show reel. And so I came up with this box. It's like over, I don't know where it's at right now, but this box in the basement idea. And again, it was for like maybe 2 or 3 minutes of some serious acting, so I can add it to her normally funny, she's just funny. So, she didn't have to act, she's just that way. And so I came up with this idea, this box in the basement. And again, it's like this beast because it started to grow. and grow into a storyline. And I'm like, but so what if we did this? Because my brain started working, and I'm like, it's a blessing and a curse, my brain. And so it's just like it
Yeah.
kept going. And then like I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna bring on board like maybe a couple of extra people and just make this to be so that at least she has some dialogue, not just her. And like
Right.
I don't know, 5 days later, I had 85 submissions to
Wow.
to roles. And I'm like, this is getting kind of serious here. I didn't know there was so much interest and stuff. And so, I mean, literally, God has been blessing this thing left and right. I ended up getting a bus donated to us, a bus driver donated to us, a school
Wow.
donated to us, the basement where the box is in, which is the coolest, creepiest basement you've ever seen. And then I had actors coming from out of state that came on board. I had on set on day 2 of set. We had 3 days of straight shooting all day and night. And that's not even including like the 1,000 billion other scenes that I had to add afterwards. But on day 2 of set, we had like 75 plus people on set. And I was just like, man, I feel like Steven Spielberg or something, And it was just amazing. It was just such an amazing experience. And I had DPs, director of photography, cinematographers, set, the boom mics, the whole 9 yards. I mean, just everything, sound check, everything, Slaters, everything. And we did outside, we did inside, we did all 3 counties in Delaware. And so my goal was to try to rep Delaware because Delaware is not really on the map yet still. And so I wanted to make sure that, I can produce something. So it became from like a 2 to 3 minute thing to like a very long film short. And then I collaborate with people in the film industry business, and they're like, that's great. And maybe you can win a lot of awards, but if you want to try to submit it for actual distribution, to where it could be on the big wigs out there, then you got to make it a full feature. And I'm like, I can't do a full feature. This is all like non-paid, this is like, I don't have anything in my pocket, And then I started adding up. Me and my wife, we were on our date night and just taking a walk in the park. And so we were just talking about how, like, it would be awesome if there was any way to do it. And we started adding up the minutes that we actually have. And pretty soon I was like, okay, we got this scene. That's about this minutes. That scene, that scene, that scene, that scene, that scene, and that scene, and that scene, and that scene. And then we just added this scene and this scene. And pretty soon it was pretty close to being a feature length, even if it's smaller, but a feature length film. And I'm like, really? And so it was then that I said, and I'm like, okay, you know what? I can create some scenes to add on to make it to where it's a full feature film. And so, like, I had amazing, a quick shout out to a local videographer, filmmaker like myself, Matthew Silva with Matthew Silva Productions, Kismet Productions, one of the coolest guys I know that I work with. Big shout out to him and Ryan, his partner. Ryan worked with. He was Kevin Hart's son on a movie or something like that. So it was really cool. And so I actually had him help to do 2 major scenes. And one of them was with the drone, and it was like at the park. And the other one was in the basement. You saw those 2 girls, one of them look at each other. They're actually local kids and family that we're really close to, and we know. And so they're actually the bullies. And pretty soon we just started adding on and adding on and adding on. And I'm going to add on Tuesday, like one last scene in a Mexican restaurant kind of thing. And it's possible I haven't heard back because I have a possibility if it works in the schedule, it may not. But to add on a mom and her son is like an 8-year-old speaker who goes around like the nation. They're going to be on the Steve Harvey show like this weekend. So she's going to see if she can get back in time so that I can actually have him to have a cameo to talk about anti-bullying. And so it's just this like huge thing. What started out to be like 2 to 3 minutes of extra with this little box that glows. If you ever seen the Avenger, it's like the Tesseract. It's really cool. And so this little box, this cube in a box that looks like an ancient Chinese box from like a billion years ago. That's so cool. It's just everything was just amazing. It's just been amazing. And so like these scenes are really, really good and powerful and life-changing. And this movie, The Box in the Basement, deals with bullying. It deals with parent and teen relationship. It deals with teen suicide, and like I want to end this life sucks and stuff. And it deals with relationship and teen responsibility, that you've got to take responsibility for your own life, which is what this is like. The underlying current is that you make it what you make it, and for us that have a spiritual mentality, the Bible says that David said that my soul is in my hands. And so basically God says, you decide. God doesn't decide for us. He gives us the opportunity for us to, by faith, speak life or speak death. So we can carve out our own path, and our past doesn't hold on to us. The chains were broken if we're in the blood, under the blood, but we still have the choice to move forward or to stay in the past. So, I mean, any way you look at it, this movie has like a lot of stuff that's to it. It's not preachy. It's not a solely Christian-based movie, because it wasn't that way. It's for the general audience. But let them who have an ear hear. So it's, you know what I'm saying? So I'm just blown away by all that's happening, and that's amidst all the other stuff. Voiceover stuff. I'm trying to do as much as I can with that one. I do a lot of character voiceovers, like Yoda, Mickey Mouse. Oh boy, that kind of thing. So
I was just getting ready to ask you to do one.
Well, if you insist, So it's like, yes, the dark side of the force is with you. So
Wow.
So I do a lot of voiceover characters. Our daughter, she's actually a professional teen voiceover. She's done stuff for Plato's Closet, Amazon, Boys and Girls Club, and Taco Bell and stuff. So yeah, we're busy like doing all kinds of stuff amidst our regular stuff. And yeah, boy, that was a long answer.
Well, you answered everything. You wear a lot of hats, and that's good. But this movie, The Box, it sounds like it's realistic. It don't have to be a religious song, but it sounds realistic, so it will make people think.
Oh yeah,
and that's a good thing.
Yeah, no, it all these things that I never even thought would appear or exist, like grew out of it. The father and the mother, have the arguments, and there's tension and all that kind of stuff, and so they learn basically, to try to work it out and stuff like that. And so there's a lot of like powerful, emotional, moving stuff, and then there's some, positive stuff, and there's some twists that I threw in there, especially like the last, I won't give it away, but, and I didn't even think all this. It just like started unfolding by itself. And I'm just like, no, brain, what are you doing to me? I can't, and it's like, yes, I can.
It was all needed.
I felt like, like a dual fold, like, no, yes, you can. You're like Schmeagol from Lord of the Rings or something. Master, yes, Tracy. No, she likes us. He likes us. It's like,
yes, I love it.
Oh man, so I have to wrap it up though, like within the next few weeks, and just you all pray. You come before the throne of grace, praying that God will open up the doors for this movie to be in investment opportunities, because it really does have a a realistic, like you said, a realistic tone to it,
Mhm.
and this has the potential to affect and impact and
Yeah.
touch a lot of young
Oh yeah.
lives that are
Oh yeah.
dealing with a lot of stuff, especially because of
Mhm.
COVID. You know,
Yes.
the suicide rate, even in Delaware alone, is like, like 3,500. Our daughter just did a pitch to the Swim with the Sharks thing, and she came up with all this stats for Delaware alone. But the stats for like depression and teen suicide and stuff is
Mhm.
like skyrocketed, especially because of COVID. And now they're trying to
Yeah.
bring out the Delta variant, and it's just like, oh brother. So there's a lot of stuff, and this has the power to really impact and let them know that they do not have to allow their future. This has to do with, like, it's a combination of emotional stuff and real
Mhm.
life stuff with a
Right.
sci-fi twist of, like you started to say in the beginning, this box, which basically, I'll say it because I don't know. I had another trailer. I'm not sure if I had it, but it has the potential to transport you to your future.
Mm.
But there's a caveat to it, and there's a
Okay.
warning to it. So, you can change your future, but in doing so, everything, it's a paradox. It's
Mhm.
called a paradox kind of thing, a time paradox. Everything and everybody you know and love will no longer exist.
Right.
But
Right.
see,
Mhm.
but she doesn't know that, and so you don't know what choice she's gonna make. So yeah,
Wow.
yeah, it's
Wow.
exciting. It's off the chain. I can't wait.
Oh yeah, it's going to definitely be a success. I'm gonna turn you over to Lakia because she seems anxious. She wants to. She sees some stuff and wants to ask you some questions. So go ahead, Lakia. Thank you, Mike.
Don't you
Mm.
know when your team know you so well? Listen,
Yeah, you know.
because I am very anxious and very excited, just because I feel like already, and I'm gonna already speak this into the atmosphere, that this movie is going to quadruple past what you're thinking it's going to do.
I agree.
Amen.
Because
Yes, yes.
my prayers is to bring forth things that are going to help our next generation.
Mhm.
That's just been something I've been secretly praying about, and I'm sure many others probably have too. And for you to come to the forefront, I keep telling y'all, these visuals, these people are coming from near and far.
Yes.
All of these filmmakers, God is dropping stuff. Like, look,
Mhm.
I need you to do this because this is what's happening, and you are one of the vessels that He is using. And it's such
Yes,
a
most
beautiful
definitely.
thing that you have a beautiful family unit. You guys are doing this together. That is very
Yes.
inspiring.
Yes, it
It
is.
really reminds me, Mike, of my family. I have very talented kids. Three of them, me and my husband, both are like musically inclined. I
Mhm.
started having him do voiceovers for my plays. Like, I'm just listening to you was like looking at my house, like a whole antennas going off. Everybody got ideas, and we don't know how to like get it together in here. So it's so like exciting to know I'm not going crazy by myself. I got somebody on the other side
No,
of
we're
the
going crazy with you.
room. So I need you to give some tips, like for upcoming rising film producers who are trying
Yeah,
to step outside of the box.
no pun intended. I guess.
Yes, especially if they're independent and don't have any, financial backing.
Yeah,
Please drop some tips on,
yeah.
how are you making that work?
So yeah, no, that's a great question, and I'm not one to to be, because I've met a lot of people, especially in the entertainment industry. It's just that way. It should not be, but it is, where you meet a lot of people that they've learned a lot of lessons, and they're like, "Yeah, I'll give you like a crumb," and
Mhm.
it's like, okay, and you're like, tell me, help me succeed, and so I'm not like that. We're not like that as a family. We are all about empowering and inspiring, and God will bless us back, by helping others. So a few good tips that we're learning along the path. Number one, if you are an independent filmmaker, two things actually. Number one, invest in getting IMDb Pro. IMDb Pro. IMDb is the database for movies and all things video movies. So it's been around forever. And to be legit, that's one of the things, even that we talk to our customers, is you want to make yourself as legit as possible. And IMDb Pro is like the online resume for actors, producers, Hollywood in general, filmmakers, everything to do with movies and film. IMDb is about. So one of the things you've got to do as an independent filmmaker, it's like $149 per year. Invest in getting a pro account, so that way you can create your profile the right way. So that includes your links, your videos, your profile, and pictures, things like that. And so that way you can also be a better contributor. And this is the key. And this is one thing that I've gotten like a ton of from all the actors that I brought on board, all kinds of different stuff, even recently a commercial in Wilmington, Delaware. And that is, you really want to look out for each other, especially in this industry. And one of the first things that we do is make sure that we give props for those that are a part of it, that are a part of the process. So let me cancel that real quick here. So like IMDb is worth getting, like an IMDb credit is worth like more than paying somebody $50, $100 or whatever, because you can't purchase getting IMDb credit. You have to like have somebody who's producing something to give that credit to you as an actor. And so one of the things that you want to make sure that you do is anybody you have on board your process, your filmmaking process, you want to give them the props that's due, give honor to those whom honor is due, and God will bless you back, And so that's one of the things I do is as quick as possible. Make sure that I get their IMDb profile and make sure that I tag and bring them on board that project so that they get credit. They will always appreciate that as a director or producer. Big tip. You don't want to be all, just do it. Just do it. Number two is also invest in a backstage or at least one of the big actors access maybe, but backstage I think is just a lot smoother. Online profiles for both production side and acting and voiceover side, because you collect, and this is my number 3 tip, but if you create your backstage or actors access, backstage I think is a little better in some respects, although Tyler Perry uses actors access, but that's more for strictly Atlanta stuff because Atlanta is hot. But if you're out here on the East Coast, backstage is pretty out there, pretty hot. Create that so that your profile and connecting with other actors is going to be very, very easy. And then you'll make yourself legit. So those two things, IMDb and backstage or actors access or casting frontier or whatever, I prefer the backstage. It's just smoother experience. Get those things going and get your profile going and get yourself going as a filmmaker. And then you get some legitimacy to who you are. All right. That's number 1. Number 2, collaborate. You can't do it by yourself. Regardless of how powerful and off the Chazang you are, and no matter how anointed and appointed you are, even Moses didn't do it himself. And I won't go there on that. So, like, God will bless you, but God blesses teamwork. Teamwork makes the dream work. I mean, and so you really, really need to collaborate and humble yourself to rely on others that have more expertise in other fields that you can focus maybe your expertise on. It's a no-brainer for me to be a director. My visionary capacity is like always at 100%. But I've got equipment that I am like, my brain has a huge learning curve. And the technical side of stuff, I think it's because like I'm older now and I'm like, I don't wanna, and it's like, I have to, but I can rely on others that are experts in their respected fields to bring them on board, give them the credit, and we all work together and succeed together. So that is a big one that I've seen a lot of people not do as far as independent filmmakers, is that you need to collaborate, bring on board and on the team as many as you can. That's a big deal. I would say that's one of the biggest deals that I've seen. And that I don't have a problem with, because I know who I am and I know where my strengths are and where they're not. And I have no problem letting other people get on board and give them the props that's due. So that way we can work together, Um, so when it comes to financial parts, that's like really, really tricky, because the entertainment industry, I'll be the first to say, and I don't like it. I don't agree with it, but it is it, and it is about who you know. It's about who you know, and you can do what you can do as a as an indie filmmaker, even if you don't know anyone. Here's one thing you can do. If you're not connected to, you know, to the Avengers or anybody. It's like if you're just like out there, a little boat on the sea, but you're a filmmaker and you don't have much resources, you could still do what you can do with what you got. David had like, 5 loaves and 2 fishes, and God blessed it and fed a multitude. So with God, all things are possible. So what you can do is you can create your film and submit to film festivals. There are a million film festivals out there, from like local East Coast to like France and Mars and Jupiter and everywhere, that some cost almost nothing and others cost about, a lot. But they're always offering discounts on submitting your films, and there's a lot of different categories. And just like I saw that, just to back up what I was saying earlier, it's about who you know and networking and collaborating. So if you don't know anyone and you can't network because you don't know anyone, then make your film, do what you can, submit to film festivals, and try to get as many awards as you can. When you do that, you bring yourself some credibility and legitimacy. So that's one big tip that I was told, and I kept on doing. If you do have some people that you know, and you do have like a little budget, maybe not a big budget, but a little budget, then make sure you can invest in some as good as equipment as you can get, both audio and video. You have to. So when it comes to actors, one of the things that I've learned is, um, you know, for indie filmmakers, really, there's a lot of actors out there, actors and actresses, that they are very good, and they're willing to work as a non-paid project, as long as you do give them the props and give them the credit. A lot, and it really bugs me when I see people that they don't give credit and they still want actors to work for free. And it's just like, yeah, you can, but I don't think that's right. So as long as you give the credit, IMDb credit, and even roll credits if it's a short film, then give them show reel stuff. you know when anytime you use somebody, for your benefit, which is for their benefit as well, it's a standard procedure for us. You're going to want to give them show reel of their stuff so that they can use it, footage, video of what you use them for, so that they can add it to their show reel. And that's, to us, those are ethical stuff that you want to do. So those are some big tips that we've learned along the way that will connect you, network you, and bring you into others. Stage 32 is another online source. It's free, and I never even knew it existed until somebody mentioned it to me. Film.org. One of the actresses, the one on the Want to Be a Star that goes, ah, she was actually just on the commercial that I put together for an attorney's office in Wilmington. She's fantastic. She's just a pleasure to work with. She actually was the one, she's in Philly. So she's the one who let me know about film.org and philly.org and stuff like that out there. So there's all kinds of resources out there. Don't have the entitlement mentality. And we talk about that a lot. Our daughter talks about that at our speaking events and to youth because she's a speaker. She's a keynote speaker. You know, she's been a keynote speaker since she was like 9 or 10. So, you know, the world doesn't owe it to you. You got to work. It's a hustle and the grind. You got to work hard, pray hard, play hard, you know, and it's just, you know, God will bless you. So resources, networking, get together, collaborate, put it out there, give others props, all those tips. You know, I wish somebody would have told me all those things. Those are like some basic stuff, you know, outside of like knocking on, you know, Michael Bay's door. Hey, can I be help on your next movie? You know, it's like, okay, you know, or Tyler Perry, you know, whatever. So yeah, there you go.
I think this is a great teaching moment. This is a lot of great nuggets. And I do thank God for you sharing this with the world for people who are trying to make their entrance into film producing or acting or anything like that. So was there ever a time where you wanted to give up? Because I know everything wasn't all smooth sailing starting this. So I like to let
Let's see,
people
what
know the
time
real.
is it?
In the shortest version you got, how, like, were there ever a time that you were just
Yes.
gonna be like, forget it?
Yes. Times ... Because, you know, and just being open and transparent and honest until you get to a place where you've reaped the rewards of your hard work. It's a constant battle with the mind. Even the great apostle Paul said, if I had hope in Christ in this life only, man, I would be of all men most miserable. What are you talking about, Paul? You're talking about if you didn't have, you know, hope in the afterlife of heaven, that you wouldn't be happy and joyful, and the joy of the Lord is your strength. He said, nope. I've been through too much, and if all my hope is in this life only, I would be of all men most miserable. But I have hope in Christ and in the kingdom of heaven. So he has a reward. That is what kept the great apostle Paul kept going. That's what kept him going. It was not our, you know, very easily preachy moments of like, you know, like I felt the Holy Ghost and, you know, and I know that inside of me, I could go there. But even Paul knew that if I didn't have some kind of reward, and he said it in the latter books, he said, my reward is a crown laid up for me in glory. And so that was his reward, and he had faith in that. But us right now in this day, if we don't see a lot of results to our hard work and efforts, it's very easy to feel like you're going to give up. And so that's happened to me more than once, twice, thrice, thrice, mice, dice. You know, it's like it happens quite often until I see results. But my family has been my anchor, you know, and knowing that I have people that have been praying for this endeavor, and that have faith in it, and even some have prophesied, and and they just between knowing that God's blessed it so much, and my family that's been there as a rock, those two things alone helped me get through those times to where I feel like, you know what, turn off the computer, just put away the camera, and don't open the post-production DaVinci Resolve or Adobe After Effects. Just forget it, because I have felt that over and over and over. But if you connect with somebody that knows who God is in you, then that will take you through those hard times. And then I see people like respond to like the trailers and things like that. And so and then I've had people, actually parents of kids that were on set, say all kinds of crazy great stuff, that that you've been the best director that our kids have ever had, direct on set, so thank you. And I'm just like, oh, you're welcome. Cool. That helped, so there's always something. God will always give you manna. He'll always give you a dewdrop in the desert. He'll always give you something along the way to help keep you going. For the tabernacle, it wasn't a floodlight. It was a light for the next step, for the priests. They never had full light. They only had just enough light to know where their next step is until they get to the holiest of holies. So, yes, in short, yes.
Well, we thank you so much, Mike, for your insight and for your wisdom around what you do. We can definitely tell that you have a passion for what you do. And I feel like if there's no passion there, that light will easily go out if you don't have no passion to do what you're doing, because that's what helps you get through during those hard times. So why don't you let everyone know how to connect with you, and once again, tell them about your projects that you're working on and coming up with, so we can continue to follow you, because we connected now. You ain't going though, we connected. So we definitely going to keep up with you and make sure that we keep spreading what you are doing, because it is going to save some lives, believe me. So
I appreciate it, and I'm thankful for it, and I can't wait to see what happens. I'm my own worst enemy. I will go through. Our daughter will be the first person to tell you, like, I have, when you have like a final file, it's like I have, and she'll laugh about it. She'll go, you have final A, final B, final C, final D. There's no final, because I'm always seeing something I can improve. I'm like, oh, okay, okay, it's done. No, it's not done. There's something else I saw. And so, but yes, you can contact us through www.splashdw, like Delaware and Wisconsin, or designworks.com, info@splashdw.com, or online at www.splashdw.com. Phone number 302-399-7851. We are, one thing I did forget to say is that we are starting. It's called Crystal Fox Films. The Crystal Fox is actually from the last Star Wars. Those crystal foxes, if you saw those are like the coolest creatures like ever. And so they were like the ones in the newer Star Wars with it's there. But they're crystal foxes, and they're like the coolest creatures. And so it's called, and our last name is Fox. So, Crystal Fox Films, we're beginning that. I already got an intro for it. It's like super cool. So we're going to be putting things onto Crystal Fox Films for our productions, as opposed to Splash Design Works, which is mainly design, and production and marketing. And we're online, like on every channel, every platform, as Splash Design Works and Splash DW, and our daughter, A Fox Author. Connect with us any way you can. And we always, try to stay on top of it for communication, kind of thing. And yeah, the new projects they keep coming. So.
Well, we wish you many, many blessings on your journey, you and your family. And we have to get your daughter on this show. We're going to be doing a special edition of kids entrepreneurs and things like that. I just think it's a beautiful thing to be able to hear from the kids and hear what they're doing, because there's so many children like your daughter who are literally paving the way and making their own way possible. And it is so needed again. Like, so we would love to have her on the show and kind of talk to her. And I think it will be a real big inspiration to a lot of children to see, hey, if she can do it, I can do it too. You know what I mean? So
Exactly.
mhm.
Exactly.
So, Miss Hubbard, do you have any last words for Mr. Mike Fox before we get off the air?
I'm just so glad that we, like she said, that we met up with you. I mean, I just can't wait to see these movies. You are such an inspiration, and I thank you. I thank you so much for stepping up to the plate. Continue to do what you're doing. Be encouraged. You're gonna make it. It's gonna be like one day I'm gonna say, "Oh yeah, I know him." So yeah, you're gonna be fine.
I appreciate it. I take all the encouragement and inspiration and, you know, kind words as we can, kind of thing. So thank you. Appreciate that.
You're welcome. You're welcome.
Yes, so you guys, our time has ran out. But guess what? It was well needed time. We had fun. I hope you guys were sharing on your timeline. I hope you guys stop past the ministry page to see this interview again if you didn't miss it, so you can see the replay. This is the dopest guy ever. Hear me, okay? So we know that this will not be the last of seeing him. We are going to definitely stay connected to him and be praying for him and his family as they continue on their purpose, doing what they do in the industry that they are in. So thank you guys for tuning in tonight, and we are outie 5,000.
Good night.
Good night.
Thank you.
Experts, Christian relationship experts, that is. People in ministry that have a phenomenal story. All kinds of business owners, from restaurants to beauty to financial side. We are looking for it all.